The unsurpassed, profound, and wondrous Dharma.
The unsurpassed, profound, and wondrous Dharma
is rarely met with even in 100,000 million kalpas.
It is rarely met with even 100,000 million kalpas.
Now I can see and hear it.
Now I can see and hear it.
Accept and maintain it.
Accept and maintain it.
May I unfold the meaning of the Tathagata's truth.
May I unfold the meaning of the Tathagata's truth.
So good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so happy to be here. So I just want to start with to dedicate this talk to all those who are suffering. I want to acknowledge that we are on stolen land and the history of racism in our country, and also acknowledge the Chinese, Japanese spiritual ancestors that we are so grateful to, that we have this chance to practice here today. We're all connected, and may we work together for the liberation of all beings. So there's an echo that we do at Clouds and Waters Zen Center where I train that says, when we're doing like at the end of a service, and we'll say, we do this to end every tragedy of war, epidemic, natural disaster, and starvation. So if you're wondering like, why are you doing this? Like, that's a pretty big reason why. So, thank you. So there's a story that I want to tell y'all that you probably already know, but I'm going to tell it anyway. It's the story of the monk and the samurai. So back in medieval times, samurai were pretty fearsome people, fighters, big armor, strong, very strong people, very strong men. So a big tough samurai once went to a little old monk, maybe like me, and said, "Teach me about heaven and hell." The monk looked up at the mighty warrior and replied with utter disdain, "Teach you about heaven and hell? I couldn't teach you about anything. You're dumb and dirty. You're just a disgrace, an embarrassment to the samurai class. Get out of my sight. I can't even stand you." The samurai got furious. He was so angry, shook, and he was red in the face. He was speechless with rage. He pulled out his sword, and he was just about to slay the monk, looking straight into the samurai's eyes. The monk said, "That's hell." The samurai froze, realizing the compassion of the monk who had risked his life to show him hell. He put down his sword and he fell to his knees, filled with gratitude. The monk said softly, "And that's heaven." That moment when you realize that you're wrong and you admit it, that little piece of sweetness, that's heaven. So the name of this talk is Befriending Fear and Anger in the ZBCs of Practice. So I have been angry and afraid as long as I can remember. It's a good bit better now with some years of practice in Zen. But still, it's like my go-to when if anything doesn't go my way is to get angry about it and just And I was in, like a lot of you also were in the Rohatsu session here. I was also at the Rohatsu session, which is celebrating the enlightenment of the Buddha. That they do this sesshin all over the world in Zen centers and monasteries all over the world. I just think it's so cool to think about that. Like as you're sitting there staring at the wall, you think, man, there's somebody over in Japan sitting and staring at the wall just like I am. I mean, isn't that cool? Anyway, so in that session, you know how you're sitting on the cushion and various things come up in your awareness. I thought to myself, you know, I wonder if there's a way that I could feel safe without my anger. And it's not like anger, it's not like we're trying to be all, especially Zen is not this way. You're not trying to be all rainbows and light. I mean, it's like embracing all of it, embracing the whole works. But, you know, is there some way that I could be safe without that reactivity? And I think little by little by little, I feel like, yeah, I think that maybe there is. You know, I'm not, there's no guarantee. I mean, I'm sure I'm still something's gonna go wrong and I'm not gonna like it and express it in a way. But I'll tell you, I feel like I've been doing this particular practice for about 10 years, and I feel like I'm just like starting to make some traction with it. And so these are the ZBCs, what I call the ZBCs of practice. So the first one is Zazen. You know, sitting every day. You know, spending some time in that calm abiding without trying to get something. So it's a little tricky because, you know, we sit, shikantaza is, you know, sitting without trying to get something or accomplish anything or change anything, just being with what is. But I'll tell you, I think if I hadn't gotten anything from it, I wouldn't keep doing it. So this sitting every day, this establishing of a calm abiding, it has created like a baseline for me to move from, and it's been extremely helpful. So the second thing for me, so the B for me is like body awareness and also like engaging in a more vigorous physical discipline. And in the last year, I started doing jujitsu, and it's really helped me. I mean, I have been teaching yoga for quite a long time, but I do what I call survival yoga. So I'm just going to do just enough yoga so I can do the stuff I want to do. I probably need to do a little bit more. Anyway. And then the last one, the C, is compassion. So extending loving kindness to the parts of me, you know, that goes on red alert or wants to run away. So extending loving kindness to myself and to other people. There's and I really believe that this is a body practice. You know, I think that a lot of people come to Zen, are really smart people come to Zen, like way smarter than I am. And they get to things like through their intellect, which is a great way. And I feel like this is a practice that, even though we use an awful lot of words to express it or try to express this inexpressible, that it's really through the doing of it that we experience it. So there's a poem by Rumi, it's called Body Intelligence. Your intelligence is always with you, overseeing your body, even though you may not be aware of its work. If you start doing something against your health, your intelligence will eventually scold you. If it hadn't been so lovingly close by and so constantly monitoring, how could it rebuke? You and your intelligence are like the beauty and precision of an astrolabe. So an astrolabe is an ancient anatomical instrument that was a handheld model of the universe, and it allowed the user to calculate astronomical positions. Together, you calculate how near existence is to the sun. Your intelligence is marvelously intimate. It's not in front of you, or behind, or to the left, or to the right. Now try, my friend, to describe how near the creator of your intellect Now try, my friend, to describe how near is the creator of your intellect. Intellectual searching will not find the way to that. The movement of your finger is not separate from your finger. You go to sleep or you die, and there's no intelligent motion. Then you awake, and your fingers fill with meanings. Your intelligence. I think that's, people talk about consciousness or the mind. I feel like that they talk a lot in Zen about intimacy with the way things are, and just that the very closeness of the essence of life. I think that's what they're talking about. So in the book Reconciliation, Thich Nhat Hanh talks about healing the wounded child inside of us. And I'll tell you, I saw here that we have pieces every step. And it was probably the first book that I saw from Thich Nhat Hanh. And I think I had just started teaching yoga in like 1998 or something. And honestly, I thought that some of the things that he talked about were just a little bit, what I want to say, like too simplistic, like too like, that's too sweet. That's too, but like now, like, with some practice, I'm like, it's, those stuff is kind of helpful. So I'm gonna tell you some more things about that, but it's actually really helpful. So he talks about in his book, Reconciliation, about healing the wounded child inside of us. In each of us, there is a young, suffering child. We have all had times of difficulty as children, to protect and defend ourselves against future suffering. We often try to forget those painful times. He adds, but just as the suffering is present, I love this part. So just as the suffering is present in all of us, in every cell, so are the seeds of awakened understanding and happiness, handed down by our ancestors. We just have to use them. We have a lamp of mindfulness which we can light anytime. The oil of our lamp is our breathing, our steps, and our peaceful smile. So speaking of intimacy, one of the ways that's really helped me get some traction, like with anger, fear, is to be really intimate with it, to really see it, to like really experience it and feel it. And there's nothing really better than that, than sesshin, to like just be with what is actually there. And then just to, whatever the sensation is, to rather than jump out and react, to like be there and be able to like calm myself down, like to be there for myself. That's a relatively new skill. It's kind of embarrassing that at 66 I'm just getting this. So I hope you all get it sooner than I did. But it's really, all it is being a grown-up. One time we have some grandkids, and one of the grandkids was probably, I'm not sure how old, he was walking, but pretty small, so I'd say maybe 4 or 5. And so I drove home one day. I was out, and my husband was he had the grandkids, and so he had an older brother, and Isaac was. So I drove into the garage, and like the van door was like open, and he was in the van just kicking and screaming and pitching a huge fit. And I saw him, and I thought, oh, that's what I look like. That's what I look like. And then I think I had a back thing going on at the time. So then I got out of my car and I came over to the van. I couldn't pick him up because I had a back thing going on. So I'm like, just like, come here. Like, I just couldn't stand, like, him flailing. Like, he held his hand, we got out of the van, and we walked into the house, and we just went, and I sat on the couch, and I'm like, just sit, you want to sit here? He's like, so I just sat with him until he was just like, until he just calmed down. And like, that's, honestly, like, it's so embarrassing. Like, that's what I need to do for myself. Like, when I'm like that, that's what I need to do for myself. It sounds really, namby-pamby, but hello, I mean, like, I need that tenderness. I don't know if anybody, have you guys ever heard of Tara Brach? Okay, so she's awesome. And she does a lot of loving kindness meditations and stuff. And I don't even know how long ago it was. Quite some time ago, I went to go see her in Madison. So I live in Appleton, Wisconsin. So Madison is maybe an hour and a half from me. And she was doing a tour. She'd just come out with the book True Refuge. And so I said, I went with a friend of mine. We sat in this big old beautiful Unitarian church in Madison. We sat there, and she starts with her her beginning. I'm trying to remember what exactly she said, but it was some variation of, her voice is so soothing, and so my original instinct when I heard her voice was to be like, oh God, like, no, like, that's too sweet, too much. But the thing is, I really need that sweetness. I really need that sweetness. And so, maybe a minute later, I was probably, weeping in the chair. But the thing is, to extend that kind of loving kindness to myself, it's taken a very long time for me to be able to do. And actually, I think it's actually started, by doing maybe the loving kindness, compassion for other people, because it's like easier to do for other people than it is to do for me, because it's just easier to say, may you be happy, may you be free from suffering, may you be at peace, But when I realize that I'm the one suffering, I can extend it to myself. I'm trying to think how so we have till like a whole nother half an hour.
I'll put the clock right here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we might have a long time. We might have a long time for questions and answers. But, so I brought some other stuff to do with y'all. So from his book, I'm trying to find where it is. From the same book, I think I can put it in here. Yes. No, it's not here, but I can remember it. So it's from the same book, The Reconciliation with Chitana. He's got some like exercises that I wanted to do with y'all. And I think I must have left them in the other room. That's okay. I remember what they are. But it's one of the original teachings of the Buddha. It's based on the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Well, I can't find it, but I remember what they are. So I'd like to do them together with you now. So just find a comfortable seat. Because in Zen, you don't give very many instructions on how to sit, right? It's just like sit, face the wall, figure it out. I mean, that's been my experience. So sometimes I need a little help here and there. So this might help you. If it is, I hope it is helpful too. So breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I feel my body. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I feel my body. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I feel my body. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I calm my body. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I feel my body. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I calm my body. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I smile. You can just take a deep breath and come back to this place if you went someplace. So just these really simple ways of establishing this connection. There's been an awful lot. It's really interesting because it's different than it used to be. Because like now you can get so many resources online. You know, like so many, it's confusing to know what to do. Like it's gonna feel like there's so many people giving you teachings about Buddhism and meditation. I think if you can find a way to connect back in with yourself, I think that these foundations of mindfulness can be helpful. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing this song, and then maybe you guys can ask me something, and I can figure something smart. Maybe I'll sing 2 songs. I think I lost like half my talk in my books in place, so I apologize for that. This is a mandolin, just in case you're wondering. It's not a ukulele. I started playing the mandolin 2005, I think. I had gone to India actually to study Ayurveda, and I came back, and I had studied Ayurveda, and I did a little bit of South Indian music with a teacher. He was really an inspiring guy, and he played the violin, and I was meditating when I came home, and I was like, mandolin, I could play the mandolin, and it will fit neatly on the back of my motorcycle, which it does. I apologize, it's cold weather and acoustic instruments. So I like the idea, Thich Nhat Hanh talks about this too, that, and I believe it's true, I really do think it's true, my experience in sitting long hours on the cushion, that I feel like as I heal myself, that I heal my ancestors. I really believe that happens. I really think that, I don't know, I just feel like it goes back in time. There's this story, it might have been in the book about Jizo, but he talks about that every person like that's been enlightened, the first thing they do is I don't know if it's true or not, but the first thing they do is they go back and they try to find like their parents, and then try to go help their parents. I just think that's really sweet. I mean, whether you had a good relationship with your parents or a bad relationship with your parents, I had sort of a troubled relationship with my parents. I mean, I grew up in an alcoholic family, and I'm really, really grateful that I was able to quit drinking early on, so I didn't have to keep passing that on. But I do remember like when well, this might be part of something else, but I was like, when I was about 13 and some terrible thing happened and I was looking out the window and I'm like, I never want to have children. So the grandkids are like, I got married to somebody like that had kids. It's the epitome of a lazy man. I reach out my hand to touch you beyond space and time. I reach out my hand to show you more than only words. I reach out to hold you in my heart again. Oh, love is here, deep compassion. Oh, love can hold the pain, boundless wisdom. Oh, love can heal fear. Cry as much as you need to. I'm right here. Cry as much as you need to till you can feel the sun. Irises pop their heads up in the springtime snow. Breathe in the beauty and feel whole. Love is here, deep compassion. Oh, love can hold the pain, boundless wisdom. Oh, love can heal fear. Healing the pain of my parents, holding them close again, sending love back to the Buddha. Oh, wisdom beyond wisdom, oh, we begin again. Oh, love is here, deep compassion. Oh, love can hold pain, boundless wisdom. Oh, love can heal fear. Love that holds the pain, pain that needs a love. Feel all the beauty, be with the pain. Heal the same hurt that from our ancestors. Yeah. Oh, love is here, deep compassion. Oh, love can hold pain, boundless wisdom. Oh, love can heal fear. So I know that love is an inadequate word to describe what I'm talking about, because it is love, but that's not quite a big enough word, actually, maybe, or maybe it's big enough, I just don't know the definition, but because I feel like in this practice that there's that, they talk about whether it's emptiness or whether it's mind or, like that giant expansiveness and that holds everything. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, like I'm if everything goes as planned, I'll be back here, to start as the red and spanking new resident priest in training, and I'm so humbled and excited, and I'm grateful to be coming here with y'all. I mean, like just sitting with you today, and like doing the service was so powerful. I mean, you guys have something really special here. So I'm really honored to be among you, and it's totally awesome. So I'm really grateful. So I know it's kind of early, but I just want to open it up and see if anybody has any questions or comments or anything you want to say, or we can be a little mini so you can ask me whatever you want. Bring it on. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, I have one more thing. Because I was looking for, this is so cool. Okay, this is so cool. This has been like a magical ride here, so I was looking for a quote to give y'all about this. And in this book, because Katagiri Roshi is the same lineage that I trained in at Clouds and Waters Institute that y'all are in. So I just think it's so cool. So I was looking for something, smart, something good to say. And this is so cool. Okay, you're gonna like this idea. Okay. Tara and Pam already know a little bit about this, but so we do Zazen. When we do Zazen, it's a very simple opportunity to be present there, to put aside our thoughts and preconceptions. That's why it's called a practice of egolessness. And for this, Zazen is the most important practice. It really is. I mean, it's the basis of everything that I do. It's the thing that makes everything work. If we practice in this way, discussion comes after, ideas and teaching come after. If we take care of our lives in this way, teaching and ideas are the contents of our lives. So very naturally, we think we can teach if we live like this. The founder of Buddhism is Shakyamuni Buddha. In Chinese, this is the piece, Shakya is translated as no nin. Maybe y'all knew that. Did you know that? You probably knew that. Yeah, as no nin. So no nin, as y'all know, well, you're a long-time teacher here, right? No means subjectivity. Nin is human. Shakya is the self as subjectivity, which we cannot lose. Muni is jaku, moku in Chinese. Jaku means tranquil, moku means silence. So Muni is sometimes translated as holiness. Holiness is exactly tranquil silence, but it is also something upholding all sentient beings. Shakyamuni means that the self as subjectivity must practice tranquil silence. So, Zen Buddhism emphasizes that the truth is to be practiced constantly in silence, because truth itself is really tranquil silence. So now I'm done.
Taizan, I have a comment.
Sure, yeah.
So I just want to thank you again for the music, for singing the mandolin. I used to do liturgical dance and movement, and I just found as I was listening to you, I just had to get up and start moving liturgically, So it's beautiful. It's very moving.
Thank you.
And I'd like to apologize for not really giving you a proper introduction.
I wasn't really sure of the sequence of events.
Better late than never.
From Appleton, and he's going to be our first victim, maybe, in our resident priest program, starting in middle of January. You'll be coming here to reside in the Zen Center and be here for about 5 months. And his teacher is Sosan Flynn, and Sosan and Myo-O came down for a weekend last year, for those of you who remember that. So kind of part of the network that we've established. So anyway, thank you so much. And we
Thank you.
look forward to practicing with you.
Well, I'm totally here. Thank you.
Hey
Yes.
there. I just have a comment, when you were talking about, childhood. I think it's hard for me to admit that something from my childhood would be bothering me 50 years later.
Hello.
So it's easy to push that away and rationalize it and even justify why it's okay.
Mhm.
rather than facing it and saying, okay, this is the child in me that's speaking. And one of the things I actually had to do is almost like take that part of me and make it like another person and talk to it the way I would talk to you. Because if I talked to you the way I was talking to that part of myself, I would be in a lot of trouble and we would not be friends. You would say, my God, we have a terrible relationship. And what that has really helped me with self-compassion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's so many tools. I mean, like, there's so many tools to get at some of this, and thank you.
Thank you. And I also love the music, anytime with the music.
Well, so anybody else?
Question?
I had a question.
Sure.
Can you hear me there?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so you've kind of, in the talk, you kind of alluded to some of the different spiritual paths that you've kind of have explored.
Yep.
Why did you decide to commit to Zen in particular?
Oh, that's a really great question. So, well, because I found the others lacking, honestly. One of the things, one of the experiences I had was, well, a bunch of things, but in 2012, I got cancer and I thought I might die. And I thought to myself, okay, I've been like sober 30 years. I've been doing this yoga for a long time. I know how to alter my consciousness. Like, I know how to change my state. I know how to basically get high meditating, but I don't know how to quit being a jerk. Seriously. So I was like, so I can explain that from that part of it, but then I started the practice, I started the sitting on a regular basis. Like, I'd been sitting meditation for a long time using these different techniques, like using mantras or using whatever. It really wasn't until so I started sitting with a Rinzai group in Appleton, and then that wasn't a great fit. So I thought I really want to find like a real teacher. So I found so I know it's a long story, but anyway, so then I started looking for a teacher, and then it really wasn't until, so part of the answer is I wanted to change, and part of the answer is I'm not exactly sure, but like when I hit Soto Zen, it was just like, this is the path. Like, I don't know, it's just like I kind of dove in head first. So on one hand, I can say it was because I was suffering a lot, the mud, and then on the other hand, it's like, I don't really know exactly why I committed so much, but I just went all in. So
It just felt right.
this is the.
Thank you.
Who asked the question?
What's your name?
Chris.
Chris asked the question. Okay. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. You bet.
Anyone else? Thoughts?
Should I do, is it time? Should I do one more song? I'll do one more song. So this is for y'all. Terry and Pam got to preview this one, but because I know you'll have been through a really difficult time. And it feels like to me that you're coming out of it. And I just feel like there's an aspect of life where, how do we, this is called How Does Love? And again, it's love, bigger than love, but love, it's like, it's that essence of how is it that we get out of the difficulty? I don't exactly know, but I'm really grateful that we do. So far, so good. Here it goes. And this is the first song I wrote on the mandolin. How does love make a way through the darkness? I don't know. How does love make a way through the darkness? How does love make a way through the darkness? Count me as one who is grateful. Count me as one who is grateful. How does hope stay alive in the presence of a war? How does hope stay alive when the bombs are exploding? How does hope stay alive in the presence of a war? Just count me as one who is grateful. Just count me as one who is grateful. How do you and I find a way to heal our broken hearts? I don't know. How do you and I find a way to heal our broken lives? How do you and I find a way to heal our broken hearts? Count me as one who is grateful. Just count me as one who is grateful. Just count me as one who is grateful.
Tough act to follow.